Black International is the 4th installment in this Men in Black franchise, and this one starring Tessa Thompson as Chris Hemsworth as the Men in Black. Or the Men and Women in Black. Guess they gotta be PC nowadays. I've enjoyed the previous Men in Black movies for, what they are. They're fun, funny, don't take themselves too seriously, action movies. You watch those movies simply to enjoy yourself, and I have enjoyed myself with all 3 of the previous ones. But I gotta be real with you guys, going into this movie, seeing the trailers, seeing the marketing, I didn't have high hopes for this movie at all. In fact, I don't think I had any hope for this movie. Everything just looked like complete cheese, everything just looked stupid. I'm just like, this is going to be a dumpster fire. This could be a contender for worst movie of the year. But now that I have seen Men in Black International, and now that I have thought about it for a little while, I'm here to tell you guys, it's not as bad as I thought it was going to be. But that doesn't mean it's not bad. This movie revolves around Tessa Thompson. When she was a little girl, her parents had an encounter with an alien, so Men in Black troops arrived. They do the thing where they take care of the alien and they wipe their memories, but her memory was not wiped, and she still encountered the alien, and before the Men in Black could do away with that alien, she set it free. 23 years later, she has never forgotten what that organization is, and now she wants to join it. She ends up tracking down the Men in Black, and, now she feels she's the perfect choice to join them because she found them rather than them going out and recruiting her. So she teams up with Chris Hemsworth. They're assigned by Liam Neeson, who's basically the head of the Men in Black, and he tells them, alright, you guys are going to go out there, you're going to stop this hive, which is these group of aliens that can take the form of humans. I guess they're trying to, merge their DNA with humans to create a super species or just create a cross species. I don't know. And that's basically the movie. Now let me get into it. First of all, I will give this movie credit where credit is due. Tessa Thompson and Chris Hemsworth had really good chemistry together. We've seen them work together in Thor Ragnarok. We know they play off one another very well. We both know they can be funny together. And they do have some solid moments in this movie. You do see kind of a team form between them, a friendship form between them. They throw sass at each other, they joke with each other. It did remind me a little bit of the relationship that Tommy Lee Jones and Will Smith had in the previous Men in Black movies. But that being said, it's not quite the same as a Tommy Lee Jones and Will Smith relationship was. For me, what was always the biggest thing that carried the Men in Black movies was the chemistry between Tommy Lee Jones and Will Smith, because the two really play off each other so well, and it made for some really funny moments in those movies. When I watch Chris Hemsworth and Tessa Thompson in this movie together, as enjoyable as it is, for me, it's not enough to really make me forget about Tommy Lee Jones and Will Smith. It still makes me miss that chemistry, it still makes me miss those characters. It didn't quite bring back the nostalgia that I was hoping it could. But I will say, as far as new characters go, as far as new actors go, these two were a good choice for it. So as I mentioned before, this movie revolves around these aliens that can, possess humans. Well, not really possess humans, but take the form of humans. Basically, they kill this one guy, and then 2 of them just take the form of this guy. And now they're on the hunt for this weapon. At one point, Chris Hemsworth and Tessa Thompson, they go to this alien club of sorts, The twins then show up, they attack the club, they kill the bouncer. I don't even know if that guy was the bouncer. He just worked there, he happened to have the weapon, he gave it to Tessa Thompson and Chris Hemsworth, and now they're trying to protect it from the hive and then figure out what the hive wants to do with it. This right here is where the movie really falls apart, because that right there is basically the plot of the movie, and I get that the movie's trying to go for a simple plot, because, pretty much every Men in Black movie had that. The problem is, the plot for me, it was just boring. Even in the previous Men in Black movies, although it had a simple plot, each one of them had, that fun action, really funny lines, everything that you need to make a simple plot flow along. This one didn't have that, and for me, it just made the movie feel boring. There really weren't too many moments in this movie that really made me laugh, certainly none that made me laugh hard anyway. And the action, there's really not much of it in this movie. We get a couple action scenes here and there. We get one little action scene around this point. It's that scene you saw in the trailer where they take apart the car and they turn it into a gun, basically, and they just start fighting the hive with it. But really, if my memory serves, that's maybe one of 2 action scenes we get in this whole movie. I'm saying if my memory serves because really, since I've seen this movie, it's pretty forgettable. It was just a really long, drawn-out plot that isn't being carried by what we know the Men in Black movies usually carry these plots along with. I mean, at one point it tries to delve into Chris Hemsworth's past, what he went through when he was partnered with Liam Neeson. It tries to delve into why Tessa Thompson wanted to become a Men in Black or a Woman in Black. It also have this really stupid rivalry going on between Chris Hemsworth and this one other guy who, you know, the movie's trying to make out like he's going to be one of the villains in this movie, like really trying to shove in your face like, hey, he's the villain in this movie, don't assume that it could be anyone else differently. I'll touch on that later. Now, in every Men in Black movie, there's usually an alien sidekick of some sort that usually teams up with the Men in Black. In this case, we have this little tiny alien named Pawnee. To be honest, I thought I was going to hate this character. From what I saw in the trailer, his lines were really cringe, really stupid. I was like, oh, I'm really going to hate this character. Oddly enough, though, he, for me, actually ended up being one of the positives in this movie. In fact, he was probably one of the funnier aspects of this movie because what I think the trailer did that was smart is the lines that he had that were cringy, they show them in the trailer or they edit them in the trailer in such a way that it just felt more cringy. He was actually pretty funny in this movie. I'd seen the banter he had with the two main characters, notably between him and Chris Hemsworth. I thought the two of them really played off each other very well. And around this time, they discover that the gem they got from the alien nightclub is in fact the weapon that the Hive are looking for. So what they do is they decide to activate what is supposed to be the most powerful weapon in the galaxy, and they just shoot it into the middle of the desert. And I gotta be honest, I kinda had a problem with this scene. I mean, this is supposed to be the most powerful weapon in the galaxy. You don't know what this thing is fully capable of. Why are you gonna use it? We're gonna turn it on, we're just gonna fire it into the middle of the desert. Granted, nobody was around, nobody was there, but still, that's a risk. What if this thing literally destroyed the planet, or like put a giant hole in the planet? What if it like tracked down like humans for miles away and then killed all of them? I'm just saying, like things like that, maybe it's just because I'm a cautious individual, but I wouldn't be taking risks. Now, right here, the heroes have to meet with this arms dealer to figure out what this weapon is, and, you know, they get into a little scuffle with, you know, her henchman at one point, but, you know, it all works out for them because one of the henchmen that she has was the little blue alien that Tessa Thompson saved when she was a kid. Oh yeah, the whole point of that alien was to be a Deus Ex Machina. Sounds about right. But now it's around this time they've been confronted by the Hive once again, except this time the Hive is destroyed by Liam Neeson when he shows up to save their ass, allegedly. But now it is around this time we discover that Liam Neeson is in fact the true villain of this movie. He was in fact like the leader of these Hives, or in fact like these aliens that were coming after them. They wanted to use a weapon to stop him because he was leading the Hive and they wanted to stop the Hive. And what really bothered me here is because the movie was trying so damn hard to make you believe that Chris Hemsworth's rival would be the villain of this movie, the whole time I was thinking to myself, it's actually going to be Liam Neeson. I mean, it was set up so obviously for that. I don't like that. I like if you're gonna reveal that someone's truly a villain or you want to have a holy shit moment in the movie, you need to be as subtle as you can. This movie wasn't. It felt like one of those, like, it felt like it was being subtle, but it really wasn't at all. Now at this point, Liam Neeson's like, alright, because I'm part of the Hive and because, you know, I am the embodiment of what the Hive and humans spliced together can be, I'm gonna activate a wormhole, we're gonna bring the Hive to Earth, and they're gonna take over humanity. You know, we get what is basically the second action scene in this movie, maybe third. Again, I don't really remember. Tessa Thompson and Chris Hemsworth, they throw down with Liam Neeson, and, you know, you can tell Chris Hemsworth kind of feels it right here because Liam Neeson was his mentor at one point. Liam Neeson turns into this big, ugly alien monster thing, and, you know, Chris Hemsworth is able to distract him for a moment by bringing the real Liam Neeson out of him. Then he shoots him with the super weapon, destroys the wormhole, the world is saved. Men in Black just won. Now, with everything trying to get wrapped up very quickly, Tessa Thompson is made like an official member of the Men in Black. She and Chris Hemsworth are officially a team because it's all basically like training for her. And now she's officially on board. She got her wish. She's accomplished her dream. And she and Chris Hemsworth are just going to be best friends fighting aliens and saving the world. Cool. So all in all, Men in Black International, this movie's not good. This movie didn't remind me of anything that I did really enjoy of the previous Men in Black movies. Chris Hemsworth and Tessa Thompson, they do work well together. The movie has some more funny moments than I thought it was going to have. The problem is, the rest of the comedy in this movie, none of that was really as funny for me. None of the action in this movie was really that fun for me. The villain aspect in this movie was really weak. I mean, the Hive, they're just these generic villains. At least in the previous Men in Black movies, the villains were memorable. They had a definitive villain. This movie really doesn't. The movie has a very simple plot, but it's drawn out in ways that shouldn't be drawn out that just made the story boring. In the end, this movie's just not memorable. It seriously has me feeling like I was hit with a flash of light by the Men in Black in this movie that's just made me forget the movie. Maybe that was the point the whole time. They're like, hey audience, we want you to finally feel the effect of what it's like to get hit with a flash of light that the Men in Black use. So here, watch this movie, and then a few days after you've watched it, you'll probably have forgotten most of it. And by the time we hit the end of the year, I'm probably going to have forgotten all of it. If that was the goal this whole time, good job, Hollywood. Aliens are real. Or mind erasing is at least real. I don't know, one of those two are, or both are, or none are. And the memory loss makes us think that none are. That's all I gotta say, guys. Thank you so much for watching my video. Don't forget to leave a comment, like, subscribe, and I'll see you all next time.